guys, Mars Freeman's here. For the last couple of projects, I'm playing around that idea that we photographers can use Unreal Engine for prototyping our ideas. I made a forest scene, I made a beer can photo shoot, I've made pretty real photorealistic Ford Mustang shot. And today what we're gonna do is, I really love Peter McKinnon Instagram feed. I think he makes pretty amazing these knife and axe photo shots. So I decided to try to borrow his style and try to take a look if I can replicate it and make something similar in Unreal Engine 5. And results actually came out pretty good. I made some knife shots, I made some axes, and just to make sure that it's not my own, opinion that, hey, it looks pretty good, I took a few of these renders and I put in photography forums and pages on the Facebook, and I get pretty good feedback, Hey, cool knives, looks pretty good, looks like Peter McKinnon, whatever. And nobody called me out and said, hey, that looks fake. And the purpose of this video is not, hey, we can now make photorealistic renders that can fool people. It's more about the tools, I think Unreal Engine has a really good perspective to be in our photography toolset where we can just prototype our ideas. I don't know, you're maybe on the go and you have crazy, product shot idea. You can just open your laptop, turn on Unreal Engine and just play with the lighting. If you're new to photography and you are like, hey, I want to be a product photographer, I want to be a landscape photographer, I want to take photos of the cars, and you don't know where to start, and then just later on the stuff you learned or tried you can apply in the real life. For example, you have upcoming car photography. Put the car in Unreal Engine and just test it out a few, lighting scenarios, camera angles and stuff like that. Anyways guys, let's jump into it and I'm going to show you how did I do it. All assets except the knife I got from the Unreal Engine bridge. To get at photorealism, need to take a look for some assets and textures that complement the main object. For example, I download a lot of these wooden boxes. I download some wood and the concrete textures to use as a backdrop. I use this axe. I just edited in a bit in a blender to modify a bit the look. The texture, as you can see, so I can apply the 3 textures because by the default it was just one big texture. So now we are in Unreal Engine and we're going to set up quickly the photo scene. First thing, we're going to search for the plane, something that we're going to use as a base and as a backdrop. I quickly going to scale it to make it just big enough so it's fully covered by the camera. Next thing is I'm going to search for the concrete texture, just to give a bit that small detail, and I need something dark enough to just set that Peter McKinnon mood. Here it is. Let's apply for the bottom and let's use the same texture for the backdrop. So next thing is I'm gonna add this small box just so the knife can kind of stay on it. It's usually Peter McKinnon in his photographies use these kind of small details. So let's add the camera. And now I can add a light. I usually use reaction light. Let's put down a bit the light to 1.5. So next I'm gonna add the knife. I'm gonna provide the link in description so you can download it too. Let's move it a bit down more. Okay, I'm gonna rotate it a bit, the box, so it gives a bit that more dimension and everything looks less flat. So rotating the knife so it's facing the camera. Okay, now next thing is something that I usually do when I do photography is make sure that exposure is a static value. I usually set it to the 1, otherwise your render is not gonna be the same. So now we're just gonna adjust a bit the lighting. We can move the side light, we can add another light. Let's move it up and we're gonna add another light. Just gonna move this down. And as you can see, the setup is pretty simple. It's just 3 lights, knife in the middle, the box just to add to complement the knife, and simple dark background. So this looks pretty good, and you can already stop here if you think it looks good enough. Some people can get even better renders. I usually take all my renders in the Light Room, so that's something we're gonna do right now. We're just gonna take this render in the Light Room and we're gonna take a look. Here you can take a look at all the materials that I set up. Now we are in the Light Room. I'm just gonna add a bit exposures, make it more contrasty, make this, Peter McKinnon style, black, orange mood. And one of the more really important things is to get a bit more that realism is, as you can see a lot in Peter McKinnon photos, he used the grain. Without the grain, it looks, oh yeah, it's clearly a computer rendered image. And once you add these imperfections, you know, a bit the grain, I use a bit the brush tool to add some other imperfections, and immediately it looks way more real. Here we can see the final result. I'm pretty happy and I think it looks pretty good. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye!